We scroll through social media today, double-tapping massive mansions and luxury cars, and it's easy to assume the people living those lives have it all figured out. But the emptiness hiding behind immense wealth is not a modern invention. Nearly a century ago, author F. Scott Fitzgerald captured this exact illusion in his 1925 tragedy, The Great Gatsby. He set his story right in the middle of the Roaring '20s. This was a frantic era defined by explosive stock market booms, illegal liquor empires, and a society obsessed with status at any cost. Our narrator through this world is Nick Carraway, a young bond trader who rents a small house on Long Island. He quickly realizes his new neighborhood is split right down the middle by a body of water. On the left is West Egg, populated by the newly rich who made their fortunes quickly and aren't afraid to flaunt it. Across the bay sits East Egg, a closed-off sanctuary of inherited wealth, where the residents are highly educated, immensely powerful, and incredibly arrogant. Both sides have more money than they could ever spend in a lifetime, yet the residents of East Egg guard their status with a quiet, inherited cruelty, ensuring that the self-made millionaires across the water are never truly accepted into their circle. Nick's cousin Daisy lives in East Egg with her husband, Tom Buchanan. Tom is a brutal ex-athlete who spends his time balancing his vast inheritance with a secret affair in the city, while Daisy hides her mounting unhappiness behind a polite, practiced charm. The vibe in West Egg is entirely different. Right next door to Nick is a sprawling estate owned by a man named Jay Gatsby. Every weekend, he opens his doors to thousands of people for over-the-top parties filled with free champagne and live orchestras. The bizarre thing is, almost no one at these parties actually knows the host. They drink his liquor while whispering rumors that he's a German spy, or maybe a killer on the run. In reality, Gatsby couldn't care less about the thousands of strangers wrecking his lawn. He bought this specific, sprawling estate for one highly calculated reason: its exact location on the water. Looking across the bay at night, Gatsby can see a single green light glowing at the end of Daisy Buchanan's dock. He throws these massive parties, hoping that one day she might just wander in. His entire empire is a theatrical set built for an audience of one. Behind the tuxedo and the rehearsed accent, the man hosting these parties is James Gatz. He grew up the son of a struggling farmer in North Dakota, fueled by a deep-seated hatred for the poverty that defined his youth. 5 years earlier, as a penniless young army officer, he met and fell deeply in love with Daisy. But he was shipped off to fight in World War I. While he was away, Daisy's family pressured her into marrying a man who already had the wealth and social standing Gatsby lacked. Desperate to win her back, Gatsby realized he needed massive amounts of cash, fast. He built his fortune in the criminal underworld, smuggling and selling illegal alcohol during Prohibition. He partnered with hardened gangsters, men like Meyer Wolfsheim, the racketeer infamous for actually fixing the 1919 World Series baseball championship. Every silk shirt, every imported car, and every polite smile is a fabricated shield. He constructed the character of Jay Gatsby to scrub away his lower-class roots and make himself worthy of Daisy's aristocratic world. Gatsby eventually convinces Nick to invite Daisy over for tea. When she arrives, Gatsby is so paralyzed by anxiety that he accidentally knocks a clock off the mantel, catching it right before it shatters. By catching that clock, Gatsby is attempting to freeze time itself. His obsession reaches back 5 years, driven by the belief that if he can just recreate the exact conditions of their first meeting, he can overwrite every day Daisy spent without him. They do rekindle the romance, but a secret affair isn't enough for Gatsby. He needs complete validation. He demands that Daisy look Tom in the eye and declare she never loved him. Everything reaches a boiling point on a sweltering summer afternoon at the Plaza Hotel in New York. The two men finally clash, and Tom brutally dismantles Gatsby's carefully crafted image, exposing him as a common bootlegger right in front of Daisy. Daisy shrinks away in terror. Gatsby had turned her into an impossible, flawless idol in his head, completely ignoring that she is a flawed, conflicted human being.
When you demand absolute perfection and try to rewrite history, you guarantee your own heartbreak. The fallout from that afternoon is immediate and fatal. Between the wealthy estates of Long Island and the city sits the Valley of Ashes, a bleak, polluted industrial wasteland where the poorest members of society scrape by. Fleeing the hotel in a panic, Daisy takes the wheel of Gatsby's heavy, bright yellow car. Speeding blindly through the hazy, ash-covered road, she strikes and instantly kills Tom's mistress, Myrtle. Rather than turn Daisy in, Gatsby makes his ultimate sacrifice. He quietly decides to take the blame for the hit and run to keep her completely safe. Tom Buchanan discovers what happened. Instead of taking any responsibility for the chaos his own affairs caused, he points Myrtle's grieving, armed husband directly toward Gatsby. It's a brutal display of class privilege. The entrenched elite smash through the lives of the poor, and without a second thought, they use the new money outsider as a human shield to absorb the consequences. The next morning, Gatsby floats in his luxurious swimming pool, still waiting for a phone call from Daisy that will never come. Myrtle's husband arrives, shoots Gatsby, and then turns the gun on himself. The reality of Gatsby's life is reflected in his funeral. Out of the thousands of socialites who drank his free champagne and danced on his lawn, exactly 3 people bother to show up. As for Tom and Daisy, they simply pack up their things and skip town, retreating back into the safety of their vast wealth and leaving others to clean up the wreckage. The tragedy of
Scott Fitzgerald outlined a century ago holds up a perfect mirror to modern life. Wealth does not buy class, and throwing cash around won't buy you character. When reality hits, superficial party friends and social media followers will vanish instantly. Gatsby's fatal flaw was believing he could simply buy his way back into a past that no longer existed. He chased that green light until it destroyed him. If we spend our lives desperately fighting to repeat yesterday, we blind ourselves to today, constantly beating on, like boats against the current, pushed endlessly backward.